go to the subject of the 6 billion. And I said, as discussed. And I'm still referring to this meeting, which we had held together with management and discussed. And you saw the managing director had written and said, these are the budget I've allocated for your activities. So I'm now saying, as discussed, to achieve our objective of expanding collection of contributions from workers through collaboration with key stakeholders, as agreed in our meeting, provide an allocation of 6 billion from the operating budget of 220,885 to cater for the following key priorities. And I highlight, I'm not going to repeat it again. You have already. And then now these ones are for other things, which also brings to the judiciary. If you see my letter, I had mentioned judiciary. I said, finally, the leadership of judiciary has notified me of the plan by the fund to construct courts for the judiciary. I take note that we have a specialized court for labor matters, the industrial court. I would like you to provide me with a clear rationale for this arrangement before any funds are spent on this project. So sometimes you do things, but you might be crossing people's path. It occurred, the letters that came, and the reason I put it there is because the letter from Richard Byarugaba had already articulated the areas with its budget allocation. And the team that were in my office during that meeting clearly stated to me that they would be comfortable putting 5 billion. I told you also the 5 billion, I want to get my recording because I was with management. So for it to go to 6 billion, I told them that no, when I went to London, there is this gentleman who organizes the London Uganda-UK convention. He had given me a proposal of how we should mobilize Ugandans in the diaspora to save and to partner with Nssf to build for them houses. I have his proposal. So what he was doing, proposing, was that instead of making people, relatives of diaspora, steal your money or misuse your money, why can't we have a program where Nssf, since they're in real estate, they procure people from there and they build, these people will pay and they open their account. That was one. Two, there was proposal for when I traveled to Dubai and to United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and to Saudi Arabia. Our people who are working in the Middle East were over 250,000. When I met the diaspora there, they proposed and said, when we send our money, the little money we are earning here, they misuse it. Why don't we partner so that we now open an account with Nssf, it attracts interest. When we come back, then we are able to get our money with its interest and invest. So with those initiatives, I told them, and it's in my letter, that please, you consider additional 1 billion as a budget estimate for diaspora activity for this team. That is how I arrived. I jumped from what they had proposed in that meeting to the 6 billion. But I want you to take the figure proposed as what is already there in Nssf budget, in the letter from the former managing director, Richard Byarugaba, as my background document in articulating the summary of the figure, including diaspora activities.
That came to my attention, and I disagreed in the principle, because my understanding is like, for example, I have been running the show as Minister of Finance. I'm short of money for sure, but I would never ask the fund to give me money, because those are not funds for public expenditure. Yes. If I want money, then I go to my treasury. But an independent institution, with its owners.
Honorable Minister, use the exact words. A ministry, this person, what, but don't just use independent institution. Are you referring to the Ministry of Gender?
No. I'm talking about the fund. The usage of the funds of the fund. I hope you understand me.
Yes.
I could not ask Nssf to give money to run the affairs of government. If anything, I think that they would, maybe could ask me, but I wouldn't say also I wouldn't give you because you have got your own money. So you prepare your budget, you present it.
So who asked for the money?
The 6 billion?
Yes.
It is not me. I heard it somewhere.
Minister, you said you disagreed. You disagreed.
In the meeting, I disagreed.
You disagreed with who?
In principle, with who?
With my colleague, the minister.
Oh.
Minister of Gender.
So, in principle, it was irregular, Honorable Minister. Was it irregular for the minister to ask for the 6 billion?
I think I'm repeating, really to me, it is irregular because a ministry that is supervising that body should not ask for money to run the affairs of the ministry, even if it is that those affairs are related to the fund. They should request money from the treasury. We give them the money for treasury, and then because this money is not our money. Please, let's be very clear. This money is workers' money. The best if I was having if law allowed me to tax, then I would tax them. But the law doesn't allow me to tax them.
The Honorable Minister's letter. Microphone.
Yes, Honorable.
Have you responded to them?
No, because first of all, that letter was not written to me. I also saw it, like you saw it, on social media. And I have not had any communication from the board about it at all. I have not been given an opportunity to even respond to them. And if you really want to know, I really feel awful because a lot of the allegations, especially the ones that touch on me personally, like corruption, there is no evidence to show these allegations. I mean, how wild can this be that I received 5% of a contract value on pension towers, and I wired the money through Barclays, a bank in Mauritius and in Barclays, that
Are you now responding to the allegations?
I am looking at the allegations because you asked me to note the allegations.
Would you be interested in preparing a defense to these allegations? It is optional. You may prefer not to put in a defense.
Because
the right to a fair hearing.
It is the right to a fair hearing, and unfortunately for me, as I said, these have not been presented to me. I have just seen it. You know, this letter was written on the 7th of December. By then I was no longer in employment, so I wasn't a member of the board. I also saw it on social media, and that's where I got the print off from social media. And there's all these allegations about me. They have not been presented to me. They are very wild. There is no evidence. It's just like somebody walking into a bar and basically saying, you took 3 billion shillings of a kickback, right? You sold a plot in Mbarara belonging to the fund and exchanged money. You used the services of Symbion. I didn't. And so on and so forth. I mean, they are very unfair. And the IGG, who is meant to investigate this, hasn't even been in touch with me. So I have heard about allegations. I have heard about investigations. Nobody, this is my first encounter anywhere in the world about my employment at Nssf. So if any of you were me, you would feel really bad. In fact, I call myself a victim. I know the Honorable Minister and the fund have tried to portray me as a villain. And to be quite frank, I am a victim and I feel really bad. I will tell you that I tried to be very strong with this thing, but on Saturday, there was a capital gang where a one Richard Otua, who I believe came to this committee, made horrible allegations, and I broke down and cried for the very first time. Because I felt that, why am I being subjected to this?
Well, that is Richard Byarugaba, as well as the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Matia Kasaija, who are appearing before the committee yesterday, that is of the Nssf investigations. And even further today, they will be appearing again, as Honorable Betty Amongi did accept that she initiated 1 billion shillings on the 5 billions that had been proposed by the Nssf management. And then also, no, she did accept to initiate 1 billion shillings on the 5 billion proposed by the Nssf management. Then furthermore, also Minister Matia Kasaija says he did not acknowledge the 6 billion shillings, and he furthermore distances himself from it. So on the other hand, the former managing director of the National Social Security Fund, that is Mr. Richard Byarugaba, saying he literally knows nothing about the allegations that are being sent towards him. So you can only see how this is. But as you're watching Smart Means Business, you can as well be well conversant that we shall be following up with these discussions, conversations and committee setups of the kind of investigations digging deeper into the National Social Security Fund saga that has sparked off quite a number of wide discussions, not only through mainstream media, but as well as what is coming in on social media in regards to how many Ugandans are reacting and how they think it should be better to be done, or how the government is supposed to decide what are the best ways or the better options as we continue to look at this particular situation of the National Social Security Fund. But better yet as well, as you are looking throughout the weekend that is actually coming ahead of us, you should as well think about and considering investing. And there is a platform that is definitely giving you that advantage for you to invest in Uganda's capital market space, and as a matter of which, to invest in government bonds. Now, the government bonds do make it very easier and quite simpler for you if you are kickstarting off your investment journey today. All you need to do is use the USSD code *292#, then invest your money into government bonds. The minimum amount of investment is roughly 15,000 Ugandan shillings, and with Zabu you can do the same. The markets on the Zabu platform open up at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Do note that these markets are closed fully on the weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, my money, my future, all takes East Africa, do something new. Now we've got 21 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. We are heading to the traffic updates this morning with Barije Andrew to fully understand how the traffic is moving in currently and how best you can get yourself the chances of hitting the road, or which route would be better. We're heading to Kira Road currently, where Barija Andrew is this morning, to see how the traffic flow is moving, and then to at least help you understand which are the better routes to use.
All right, thank you very much, Jerem. A very good morning, and of course, today it's a very, very, very cold morning. It's a Friday, and of course, as we are trying to observe the traffic atmosphere just right here at the Kira Road roundabout, and of course, as you can observe, the traffic officers already in control, in full control of the vehicles to ensure that there is smooth flow of the traffic. Unlike sometimes when such early mornings, it's always the traffic lights that control and the traffic congestion within the area. Now, if I'm to observe all the way at my back, that's the Ntinda Bukoto Road. It's quite very, very smooth. But still, we see that before the vehicles reach these particular traffic lights, just right there behind there is a slight congestion. I don't know why they're held quite so many right there, but coming right here to the traffic lights at the junction, you know, it's very, 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 very smooth. There is a smooth flow. The traffic officers are really doing something very great to ensure that there is smooth flow of the vehicles as you're trying to observe, you know. We are at the Kira Road junction, traffic lights, observing the traffic atmosphere just right there. Quite a smooth, vehicles not held for so long, and it's always quite a smooth kind of flow, which is leading to like the way we are observing these vehicles doing this. You see that? They're held for some good time, they're left to move smoothly. So if you're coming from Tinda, Bukoto, you know, those areas, and you're planning to use the Kira Road junction, yes, you will be in position to actually reach in time. Actually, still, as we are observing the very far end, it was a little congested, but as I speak right now, it's also been laid free. Probably there are some vehicles that were moving too slow that led to that congestion just up there. But now as they're coming towards the traffic lights, you realize that it's very, very much smooth, and others are connecting to other destinations. So somebody staying in Tinda, Bukoto, yes, it's a very, very, very smooth lane for you just right here. And I guarantee you that you will be in position to actually reach in time very well. So that is what is really transparent just right here as we're observing the traffic atmosphere here at the Kira Road junction. Very smooth. So you're coming to execute the business, you will be in position to execute it in time. It's very smooth. And it's a Friday, surprisingly. In most cases, some people storm the city to go and do quite so many activities. Now, heading straight on my right-hand side, that is the Kira Road. You see that it is still smooth. Yes, very smooth. Just, of course, now for the vehicles that are connecting from Tinda, Bukoto, passing via here, and probably they're heading to town and other destinations. It's quite a very favorable and much friendly. And now still the personnel that are using the Kira Road coming all the way, connecting probably to the Lugogo bypass, as we shall be observing. It's also quite a smooth lane for you right there. And of course, even those that are going straight that side of Bukoto and in Tinda. So it's quite a free lane. No vehicles actually right there, as you can observe, very free. So you will be in position to actually reach in time if you use this road and you're heading to destinations. If you're going to pass via the Kira Road junction, using the Kira Road, and you're heading to Ntinda, business will be very, very okay. You will be in position to actually reach in time. It wouldn't be wise for you to think of an alternative. Yes, so you would be in position to execute what you're executing. Not so many borders, as I'm observing right here, and of course even pedestrians, the passers-by, not quite so many. There is absolute control of the traffic, and of course even as I'm observing, there is also absolute respect of the road signs. I think it's because there is the traffic officer on ground available to ensure that there is not really too much congestion. Just right here, and absolute respect to the traffic lights as we are observing the situation. Just right here. Very, very, very smooth. So probably now if we are to look down just back here at the Kamocha Street where we are standing, it's quite, well, we're still observing just right here at this particular lane to see the traffic control, and it's quite a smooth flow as I'm observing just right here. Now at the back end, looking at this street, that's the Kamocha Street, it is still okay. Most cases now, people that are connecting to the different destinations probably use the passing by. You connected from Lugogo bypass and you're coming straight here. Chances are high that you will be in position to actually reach in time for you just right here. Yes, vehicles held, but it's not a long line as you're observing that. It's quite very friendly. All right, and that's what we had for you for the traffic updates this morning. And of course, standing at the Kira Road junction, next to the police station, observing the traffic atmosphere, and at this particular time, back to studio with Joran.
Well, it doesn't look to be a very busy morning around those areas of Kira, Bukoto. It's a Friday, but normally Friday traffic jam hits up around 3 p.m. in the evening. So at this particular time, you get to realize that if you are a viewer out there and you are a road user, a driver, it's actually the better time for you to now get out of your house, rush to your workplace or your business center, and try to do some things around there. It's a Friday. It's the 3rd of February 2023, and we are here to give you more business updates. And after the break, when I do return, I've got Karibu East Africa as well as the latest from the SMB International News. Stick around, I've got many of that coming up.